And as Independent National Electoral Commission is still collating and announcing results from across the 21 local government areas in Kogi State, a chieftain in the All Progressives Congress has urged them to sustain the credibility record they have shown in the polling units. According to the chieftain, most electoral malpractices do not happen at the polling unit level, rather from the ward, local government and state collation levels, which is where the final results will be announced. While commending the electoral umpire for making a remarkable shift in the election, expressed dissatisfaction that security agencies on election duty on the roads prevented some electorates from having access to their wards and polling units because of the curfew. He suggested that in future elections, those with their permanent voter cards should be allowed to move and not stopped by security operatives mounting roadblocks.
The beginning process, which is the voting, was well done today. If they also do the same thing, so to the completion of the process, I would say yes, they would have done well. But for now, for this process that we saw in the morning, that is casting our vote, I think I can score them 100% on that point. But the other processes that still remain before the result is announced,
Now, joining us on the news is Ben Joshua, a Kogi Peace and Security Network expert. Ben, thank you so much for talking to us. Hello, Ben. Hello, Ben. You may need to unmute your device so that we can hear you from here.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, good evening to you.
Here. Thank you.
Yes, it's nice to have you around. So in what ways, let me start from there, did your organization ensure the effectiveness of the monitoring network of your team organization in ensuring that the process in the state was peaceful?
Yeah, thank you very much. I coordinate a network called Kogi Peace and Security Network. It's a network of all NGOs, CSOs, an umbrella body of all the CSOs that work in the area of security and peacekeeping. So what we did was we were able to collaborate with bigger NGOs that were accredited by INEC to observe the elections, and members of our networks were deployed across local governments, across the 21 local governments to observe the elections. And one way we acted well in this election was to select some of our observers to be stationary in some locations, some polling units to observe the elections, while some of us rove within the cities, within the local government headquarters from one polling unit to another to observe the electoral process yesterday.
Okay, so I'd like to find out from you, were there challenges during the course of your monitoring, were there challenges that you encountered? Were there situations that you saw, that you documented, that could have undermined the process? Because we got different accusations or different claims from different people about vote buying, voter apathy in some cases, and of course, vote inducements. And in different areas, some election, they said that election didn't hold in some areas, but then results were declared. So from your monitoring process, what were the things that you noticed that could have been a challenge that probably could have undermined the election results?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think one of the actions that really undermined the process to an extent, not really much, was the fear in the minds of the electorate, especially considering the number of security personnel that were deployed like 2 days before the election. The deployment was so massive, and it created this fear in the minds of the electorate. It shows as if we are going for war and not just for elections. So that's multiplied its effect into voter apathy. The number of electors that really came out freely to cast their vote was below expectations. For instance, I was at Crowder Memorial College in local Jeddah, where the total registered voters in that polling unit was about 750. But as at about 12:05 yesterday, we discovered about over just 120 electorate registered voters there came out to cast their votes. So if you look at the margin between 750 and 120, where you just have about 2 hours to the end of the official time for voting, it shows that voter apathy was really on the high side. And I know what has caused this is not far from the fear in the minds of the electorate. So that was a challenge. To a larger extent, it was a challenge.
Finally, Ben, before I let you go, former President Goodluck Jonathan said that the off-cycle elections like these should be cancelled or more or less harmonized because, of course, it's not one of the global best practices, of course, in the world. Would you also advocate for that to happen, to have a unified electoral process in Nigeria so as to avoid any discrepancy or issues that may want to tamper with the little or modest achievement that has been achieved in our electoral process?
Yes, that's a good one. That sounds very right from former president. It's a good one when we have an harmonized date for our general elections. But even as we think towards that, we should also consider that there are court litigations. There are litigations that could judgment could be offered that will warrant maybe a candidate to start his own tenure or our own tenure afresh. That would definitely affect the cycle when it comes to elections. So having an harmonized or uniform timetable for the general elections might be very, very difficult when we consider court litigations. But
Mm.
definitely we can't rule out court litigations after elections. People will definitely want to challenge results, while the judiciary will definitely do what they know how to do best by judging the cases.
Ben Joshua, thank you so much for your time on the news.